Matchweek 10 in the Premier League, huh? Talk about a roller coaster.
I know.
I mean, seriously, twists and turns and, well, just a ton of shockers.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And we knew here at Tips Moto, you know, we had a feeling it was going to be pretty wild.
For sure. Yeah.
Our supercomputer, it was practically like buzzing just with how complex all the predictions were.
It really was a week, wasn't it, that just threw like all the conventional wisdom like right out the window.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just fascinating to analyze, really, especially from like a tactical perspective.
Exactly. Okay, so Man City, their first ever loss to Bournemouth. Arsenal completely tumbling out of the top four. So did you see any of this coming? I mean, probably not. I'm joined by our expert here at Tips Moto, who is going to help us try to connect the dots on all these surprises. So where do we even begin?
Well, I think we got to start with the elephant in the room, right?
Man City's unbeaten run, it's over. Came to a screeching halt. That 32-match streak, gone. And against Bournemouth, of all teams, Guardiola is saying, pointing to injuries, he said he only had 13 fit outfield players.
Right. But even with a slightly depleted squad, losing to Bournemouth, I mean, that's a major upset. Come on.
It is.
We predicted a close match, here at Tips Moto, but we never, ever saw that coming.
Right.
And it wasn't even just the result. It was their entire performance. They didn't even manage a shot on target until the 80th minute.
Right, and this ties into something else we've been watching, tracking Helen's his goal drought.
Oh, yeah, right.
Now, look, any striker can have a dry spell, right?
Yep.
But for Haaland, it's particularly notable, because his XG underperformance.
Yeah.
Like the difference between how many goals he is expected to score based on the quality of the chances he's getting versus how many he's actually scoring.
Right.
Well, it's almost double any other player in the league.
Yeah.
Since the end of September, I think. Wow. So is this just a blip, or are teams actually starting to kind of figure out how to neutralize him?
Well, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah.
But I think is fascinating here is that teams really do seem to be like adapting their defensive strategies, specifically to limit Helen's impact. We're seeing a lot more deep blocks, double teaming him when he's in the box, that kind of thing. It's almost like they figured it out.
Yeah. Crack the code.
Hmm?
Which brings us to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, they're sitting at the top of the table right now. They had a really tough battle against Brighton, but they managed to pull off the win. So could this finally be their year?
Well, they're definitely looking strong right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think what's really impressive is their ability to like grind out those results, even when they're not playing their best football.
Right.
I mean, that comeback against Brighton, that showed real grit, didn't it? And of course, you can't ignore Gakpo's, his recent, what do they call it, resurgence?
Yeah.
Back-to-back strong performances, goals in both the Premier League and EFL Cup.
Seems like he's finally found his feet at Anfield.
Exactly. And remember, we here at Tips Moto, we were saying this all along.
Yeah.
We knew it was just a matter of time before he started delivering, right?
Totally, yeah.
I mean, his movement, his link-up play with Salah,
Yeah.
I mean, he's becoming a real threat.
Speaking of threats, Arsenal fans, they got to be getting worried. Their away form is a real concern. Losing to Newcastle, dropping out of the top four, it's just such a far cry from how dominant they were at the beginning of the season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, their home form is still impressive, that's for sure. But only 37 shots in 5 away games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to cut it. Not if they want to be serious title contenders.
Yeah, definitely not.
And Odegaard's absence, you really felt it in that Newcastle match, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like the creative hub of that whole team,
Yeah.
Without him, they lack that incisiveness in the final third.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they adapt until he's back to full fitness.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so speaking of interesting, let's shift gears a little bit to some of the other surprises from Matchweek 10. Nottingham Forest in third place. That's their highest position, I think, since 1998. So are we talking European qualification for Forest? Is that a real possibility?
I mean, it might sound crazy, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't think we can rule it out. They've been incredibly solid at the back.
Yeah, they really have.
Only 9 goals conceded this season. That ties them with Man City, I think, for the fewest in the whole league.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And Chris Wood, I mean, he's having a career year, 8 goals already. He's right up there with, Haaland, pretty much,
Yeah.
in the race for the Golden Boot.
He really has been a revelation.
Yeah.
And, if we can toot our own horn here for a moment,
Yeah, go ahead.
This is something we predicted here at Tips Moto. Our analysis, it highlighted Wood. Like, we knew he was a player who would really flourish in Steve Cooper's system.
Yeah.
It's all about understanding those, the tactical nuances, and that's what we do best here.
Absolutely. We're all about giving you that extra edge right here at Tips Moto.
Yeah.
Okay, so while Forest are riding high, Southampton are, well, I guess they're breathing a sigh of relief after finally getting their first win of the season.
Yeah, a much-needed 3 points, that's for sure. But they still have a lot of work to do if they want to avoid relegation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It wasn't a convincing performance against Everton, even though they got the win.
No, not really. Everton, they actually had better chances, I think. They were really unlucky not to come away with at least a point. It was a frustrating loss for them, especially after dominating the match and being denied that late equalizer by VAR.
Brutal.
Yeah.
It seems like they can create chances, but they're really struggling to convert them into goals.
Yeah.
Which, that's a worrying trend, isn't it? And one we'll definitely be, analyzing closely in our upcoming reports. Speaking of trends, let's talk about Tottenham, the comeback kings. That 4-1 win over Aston Villa, after going down 1-0, that was classic Spurs, classic Postecoglou.
It really was. 8 times this season, they've come back from a deficit to win at home. That's incredible.
It really is.
And it just says so much about their mentality and their playing style, under Postecoglou.
So what is the secret to their comeback magic? Is it all about Postecoglou's, attacking philosophy?
Well, his system is definitely a factor, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He just encourages, relentless attack, even when they're trailing.
Yeah.
But it's also about the players' belief. They just never give up, do they?
Yeah.
They know that if they keep pushing, they can score goals. They've proved it time and time again.
Yeah. And Solanke has been, a key part of that attacking firepower. He got another brace against Villa, which takes his tally too.
Don't spoil the surprise.
All right.
We'll be diving into Solanke's his impressive form and what it means for Tottenham's title hopes, in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay. Sounds good.
So be sure to stick around.
Absolutely.
And while Tottenham's attack is, firing on all cylinders, there are 2 teams at the other end of the table who are, they're still looking for their first win of the season. Wolves and Ipswich.
Yeah, Wolves, they're in real trouble, aren't they? Their defense is it's leaking goals at an alarming rate. They've conceded 2 or more goals in, almost every match this season.
It's been a nightmare start for them, that's for sure. 27 goals conceded already, second worst in the league. And, we had them pegged as a potential relegation candidate, before the season even started here at Tips Moto. And, unfortunately, it looks like our early predictions might be coming true.
So what's going wrong for them at the back? Is it personnel? Is it tactics? Or is it, kind of a combination of both?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. They've made some questionable signings in defense. And their tactical setup, it just seems to be leaving them, far too exposed.
Right.
They need to find a way to, shore things up quickly, or they're going to be in real danger of going down.
Yeah. And Ipswich, they've shown glimpses of promise, haven't they?
They have.
But their inability to, hold on to those leads, it's really costing them.
It's becoming a bit of a recurring theme for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've dropped, if you can believe this, 12 points from winning positions this season.
Well,
it's got to be demoralizing for the players.
Yeah.
And the fans.
Yeah, totally. It's like they're snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah.
Week after week.
Exactly. And it speaks to a lack of maybe concentration, game management, a bit of mental fragility maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They need to learn how to see out those games, protect their leads, develop a winning mentality. We've seen teams turn things around, right, in similar situations.
Right.
But it takes a collective effort and a real change in mindset.
For sure. So what's the solution? Do they need a tactical shakeup, some new signings in the January transfer window, or both?
Well, that's something our team here at Tips Moto, will be analyzing in detail. We'll be looking at, their strengths and weaknesses, potential transfer targets, tactical adjustments they could make, that kind of thing.
Right.
To turn their fortunes around. So if you want the inside track on how Ipswich can escape the relegation mire, make sure you're following us on social media.
Absolutely. We'll be breaking it all down. All the key factors, providing our expert insights,
to help you, understand what's going on at both Wolves and Ipswich.
And speaking of insights, let's dive into some of the individual narratives that caught our eye in Matchweek 10. First up, Chris Wood. I mean, his goal-scoring form for Nottingham Forest, incredible.
It's been a revelation.
It has.
8 goals in 10 matches. He's leading the line with, so much confidence, and he's causing all sorts of problems for those defenders.
Yeah.
So could he actually challenge Haaland for the Golden Boot? Is that possible?
I mean, it's a long shot for sure.
Yeah.
But with Forest playing so well as a team, you
Right.
know, I mean, Wood could definitely continue to benefit
Yeah.
from their creative attacking play. He's a natural finisher, and he seems to be, like, really thriving in Steve Cooper's system.
Yeah.
So we're keeping a close eye on him here at Tips Moto, and, we wouldn't be surprised to see him, continue this impressive form.
Yeah. I mean, remember, we predicted this.
We did.
Early on.
We did early on.
Our supercomputer, it flagged Wood as a player who would thrive at Forest. I mean, we saw that potential before anyone else.
We did, yeah.
And speaking of potential, Cody Gakpo. He seems to have finally found his rhythm at Liverpool.
Yeah, he has, after, kind of a slow start.
Yeah.
He's been a different player these last few weeks. Those goals against Brighton in both the Premier League and EFL Cup, those were huge.
They were.
And he's starting to show the kind of form that made him, such a sought-after talent.
Yeah, his movement, his link-up play with Salah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's becoming a real threat in that final third.
Absolutely. And his confidence, you can just see it growing with each game. This is the Gakpo, that Liverpool fans have been waiting for. And if he can, maintain this level of performance, he could be a key factor in their title push.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see, how he develops. And we'll be tracking his progress closely here at Tips Moto.
Okay. Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about a player who's, he's already established himself, hasn't he, as one of the best in the league, Moises Caicedo. I mean, his performance for Chelsea against Manchester United, it was outstanding.
He was everywhere. I mean, dominating the midfield, breaking up play, and even scoring that spectacular goal.
Yeah.
Did you see that volley?
Unbelievable.
What a strike.
It was a goal worthy of winning any game, honestly.
Right.
But it wasn't just about the goal, was it? Caicedo's all-around performance, phenomenal. He's quickly becoming, I think, one of the most complete midfielders in the entire league.
Absolutely. I mean, he is a true, box-to-box midfielder, capable of contributing both defensively and offensively. He's got incredible energy, tackles like a demon, passes the ball with pinpoint precision. And let's not forget, his leadership qualities. He's only 22 years old.
Wow.
But he's already a driving force in that Chelsea team. If you're looking for a player to build your fantasy team around, Caicedo should be at the top of your list.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for expert betting tips, in-depth analysis, and, all things Premier League, you need to be following Tips Moto. I mean, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Just search for Tips Moto and join the conversation.
Yeah.
We're building a community of, passionate football fans who love to share their insights, discuss the latest developments, and, of course, make some money along the way.
Why not?
So come join us and let's enjoy the ride together.
Yeah, remember, the Premier League, it never sleeps.
Nope.
We're constantly analyzing, predicting, and, providing you with the information you need to stay ahead of the game. So trust Tips Moto, your ultimate guide to the most exciting league in the world.
All right. So there you have it. Another deep dive into the unpredictable world of the Premier League. From shock upsets to individual brilliance. I mean, Matchweek 10 really had it all.
It did.
And as we head into Matchweek 11, one thing's for sure. There's going to be more twists and turns, more surprises, and, more opportunities for those who are paying attention.
Absolutely. And we'll be here every step of the way,
We will.
guiding you through the chaos and helping you make sense of it all. So trust Tips Moto, your ultimate guide to the most exciting league in the world.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time.